What's up, y'all? It's your girl Amanda, and we are back with another episode of Thompson and Stuff. Now, y'all, can't y'all believe it? We're in September. We are about September is the 9, 9, 10, 12. About 3 to 4 months until the end of the year, until Christmas. I would say the year is flying by, but not really, because there were some parts I was just sitting at home bored. But it's still kind of flying by. So we're after Labor Day, so that means the children is back in school. Everyone's back in their normal everyday routine, getting up, going to work, going to school, and all that good stuff. Um, I don't really have much of a life update. Just been doing my thing every day. Oh well, let me stop lying. I have finished a new character book. So basically, I wrote a new book. And I am also, I guess I can announce it now, I am also working on the sequel to The Meridian Dream. It's called The Meridian Nightmare. And then also, I'm working on the Meridian Nightmare sequel, the Meridian prequel. Does that make sense? Well, no. Okay. So I wrote The Meridian Dream, right? Okay, and then I have the sequel, The Meridian Nightmare, and then I'm working on the book after called The Meridian Prequel. I guess now that makes sense. So I've been really working on a lot of writing because I haven't been really had a lot of the space to get writing done before, but now I do. Um I'm writing books. I think I want the new book, the new character book, to come out around Christmas. After I'm finished with the Meridian Nightmare, I'll start working on that. The Meridian Nightmare should be out. I'm pushing for the end of the year. Because you guys got to understand. Um, I have to design the cover and I have to type the book out, so it is a long process. And then on top of that, I have other things going on. I have the podcast, I have my store, I have my social media presence, all that stuff. So, that's going on right now. But I want to get into this. I just want to jump into this. I have so much to talk about. As you guys know, I write down everything I want to talk about, so I might go out of order with the stories because I really, 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 really want to talk about Rich Homie Quan because I am so torn up about it. But you know what? Let's just I'll just start with the list. I have a long list of stuff. As you guys know, I kind of like as something goes on, I write it down, and then once I come on the mic and talk about it, I talk about it. My first story was talking about Mauricio Umansky being really open with his new girlfriend. I wasn't sure if I really wanted to talk about that because, um, we all know that Kyle and Mauricio have separated. Mauricio moved out. He moved into the city of Los Angeles. He has a condo. So I guess to end this part is just, I think the next step is that they should divorce now that, Mauricio is kind of out and open and dating a new woman. That's all I gotta say. Um, then the next story was this. Sexy Red is coming out with a beauty line. Now, I'm all for black entrepreneurism. Go Sexy Red, girl, make your money. But I have an issue with what the line is based off of. I know, she made the song "Bend That Ass Over," make that what bend that ass over, with the coochie street, and yeah, hands on your knee. She made that song. Okay, I understand that. It's music. It's not like back in the day when my grandparents and my parents were alive, and everything was an innuendo, and everything was like kind of borderline Morse code or something. She's just open with what she got going on. So her new makeup line is named, like, I think I saw it was an eyeshadow palette. And forgive me, makeup artist, because I don't know. I don't really wear makeup. But she had on a makeup palette and it was based off of sexual activity and STDs. Y'all, I don't understand. I don't understand the openness. I mean, I must be getting older. I must be out of that generation where we do everything secret or everything is a code. Like, you guys remember If You Seek Amy by Britney Spears, right? I didn't even know that was a code. That song came out when I was like 14. And then someone really broke it down for me, and I was like, oh, okay. That's nasty but clever. I think that Sexy Red should have went that way. Because how are you going to have eyeshadow openly called gonorrhea, and I think she's having lip gloss called coochie juice. Oh my. Oh my. Will I think that will be successful? I think it is, but it's gonna have some limitations on it. So Sexy Red better set up a website and sell it through that, because I really don't see anything like this being sold in the makeup section or in Ulta or in Sephora or MAC. Like it's gonna be done through the website only. Um and in this day and age and how people are influenced, I wouldn't be surprised if it became a bestseller. Uh I think somebody should have stopped her at the door. That's what I think, because you can't sell no makeup named after gonorrhea and coochie juice. That's just my opinion. But Sexy Red she's beautiful. I've seen her naturally without the crazy wigs and all that stuff. She's a beautiful girl. But I just wouldn't understand why would she name her makeup line after body fluids and STDs. Ugh. Next is Tamar Braxton and her ex-husband Jeremy Robinson. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm from the outside looking in. I don't know these people. I would see pictures of them, and I would think, oh, that's a nice looking couple. They seem nice. They seem in love and all that stuff. Because I know Tamar met him on a reality show, and he seemed to really care about her and all that stuff. Only through clips that I've seen. I've never even seen an episode of The Queen's Court. Well, Tamar goes on the internet and she basically just went on about said person. She started it as said person, and I'm like, okay, well, somebody in her team must be stealing money from her. Oh, that's terrible. That stuff happens to celebrities all the time. So then she kept saying said person, said person, said person, until like I kept listening to her talk, and I said, oh my God, I think she's talking about her boyfriend. Then she dropped the bomb that they were married and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And basically, Jeremy went to New Orleans with some side chick, allegedly, and he used her card. So, in my opinion, I just want to disregard all that other stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Going to New Orleans, cheating, blah. Okay, I'm going to put all that to the side. My problem with this situation is that he used her card and she didn't know. And it doesn't matter to me if the whole thing was cleared up and all that stuff. That really bothers me because, I had an ex that stole money from me and used my car without permission. And I automatically fume for the person who, goes through that. Basically Tamar brought it to the internet and it blew up, and that's when it was exposed. She was married, and she was only married for 61 days. That whole thing was a mess. And you know what? I think Tamar, without going into the whole thing, because we all know what happened. Everybody got a YouTube channel, a YouTube video about it. I don't want to repeat what y'all probably already heard. But I think Tamar should just take a step back. She's been married 3 times. She should focus on her career now. She is a wonderful singer. I love Tamar Braxton. I love watching her on the Braxtons. And you know what? I'm starting to also form an opinion about the Braxtons. I think that the Braxtons should just only have this one season and just call it a rest. Because one, we know Toni Braxton, she's got that show with Cedric the Entertainer, and Tamar, she's still recording. And then we got the other 2 sisters. They're living their lives. So I just think that the Braxtons, the show should just, have okay, this is what's going on with our lives. This is how we're handling it. And I think we're going to step back from reality TV. I watch the Braxtons. It's like, it's not my favorite show, but I'm also like, I feel like if I turned it off, I'd probably miss something big and everybody would be talking about it. And I would just be looking at them like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's just that. I think that's the opinion I have, because I did state on the last podcast, I'm watching the show, but I don't have an opinion right now. So I guess that's my opinion. They probably have like a couple more episodes and then that's it. And I kind of agree with like people on the internet and stuff, in which something you would rarely hear me say is that, they should just wrap this show up. Like it should not have happened, but to wrap this show up and just put it under the rug. They can find like I've seen this happen time and time again, and I've said this happen time and time again. When you go on a successful reality show, most of the time, I don't want to put a number or percentage on it. You could go that is your avenue to go find to do something else in life. So that will probably create or more opportunity for Toni Braxton. I mean, not only she doesn't really need a lot more opportunity, like what's the word I'm trying to say? She doesn't need to search for opportunity. I think that's it. Because she's Toni Braxton, she's done a lot in the 90s and the early 2000s. Let's not forget the Heat album, okay? Let's not forget. And then that one album she did with Babyface, that was awesome. And then, then the Braxton Family Values, the first show, that kind of helped out as well. So, yeah, that's my opinion. And yeah, Tamar and Jeremy, I think they just need to be separated. They try to be friends, but I'm learning more and more about how Jeremy is because I used to like them together. They look really nice, but I think, Tamar should really stay away from Jeremy for good. And then take some time to herself, and then you'll never know when the one might come because Jeremy was not the one for Tamar. Just saying. Red Lobster is out of bankruptcy, and they hired the former CEO of PF Chang's to be the new leader, the oversee everything. I didn't see Red Lobster going anywhere anytime soon. I'm not gonna lie, because those cheddar biscuits are too good. And then you got the shrimp. I don't know if they're gonna do that because that was kind of money consuming. Um, yeah, they're not going nowhere. I like who's a restaurant that went under and nobody eats it? Okay, Old Country Buffet. I remember eating at Old Country Buffet growing up, right? Mm. They had the best fried chicken, the best desserts, all that stuff. Everybody loved going to Old Country Buffet. My family and I, we loved going to Country Buffet on Friday nights. But then, as I got older, my mom, she turned into very health conscious and stuff, so we stopped going to buffets. And then COVID hit, and obviously everybody was freaked out by germs, and we're not touching nothing after nobody, and we can't be near people. They kind of went down, filed for bankruptcy, closed down. So when I first heard that, Red Lobster was undergoing bankruptcy and stuff, that's what I was thinking where Red Lobster was going. But no, because sometimes I go to Red Lobster, families being there, people being there 20 deep. We love Red Lobster too much. They just needed a reboot and to get rid of that unlimited stuff because when you do unlimited anything, it is it is a money waste. It's a money waste because you're eating so much for the price of one for one. So, and they need to bring back the shrimp seaside trio because I looked at the menu recently. I did not see that on there, and that's the only thing I get. Like I might have to turn it to my grandmother. Like when she go to Red Lobster, she gets a simple piece of fish, a baked potato, salad, and a drink. That's it. And I look at it now. I eat that stuff now when I'm at home. So why can't I go and get it at a restaurant? I don't know, but it depends on who cooks the food or whatever. But I'm glad that Red Lobster is here to stay. Because I don't really like any other seafood restaurants. And well, honestly, there's not a lot of seafood restaurants I would go to. Do you guys know any other seafood restaurants except Red Lobster? Because when I eat seafood outside of my house, because my grandmother, she makes the best fried fish ever. I eat at her house, I eat at Red Lobster, and then I'll go to our local grocery store because they fry fish too, and that's good. But other than that, I won't eat fish from anywhere else or sharks. But that doesn't count as a seafood per se. That's just another chicken spot in the city of Chicago. So just that's good news. That's good news. So I can't wait to see how this new CEO handles everything. Probably new menu items would be cool. I don't know. Do they sell lobster mac and cheese? That would be an awesome dish for them to have. I love lobster mac and cheese. And I've never even had lobster, you know how you go in Red Lobster and there's the lobsters in the water in there and they take them out and cook them? I've never had that before. So I'll probably put that in there and all that stuff. So he's young. The CEO is young. So young people, young ideas. Young ideas do sometimes work. That's just my opinion. Buying London is canceled. Um, I am a fan of Selling Sunset on Netflix. I watched the new season last night, but the thing is, I kind of fell asleep on some parts, so I'm kind of lost. So I'm like, right now I'm recording, but I have it paused on my TV. So after I'm done recording this episode, I'm gonna go back and watch it, pay more attention to what I missed from last night. But Buying London, I think that's like kind of a part of the selling and buying real estate collection on Netflix. They did cancel it after one season, and I'm gonna be really honest with y'all, I did not like it because I it's London and I don't understand the customs there very well. I don't understand how, prices are determined and all that stuff like I am here in America. So I watched like probably the first 20 minutes of it and I just nothing against it. Everybody seemed cool on the show, but it was just like I just can't get into this, fam. Like it's low key kind of boring. Like I couldn't get into it, but yeah, they took it off the air. But you know what? Remember I said y'all that Owning Manhattan could be possibly renewed for a second season because of how they left off on it with the apartment from Succession? About a couple weeks ago, I just found out that they have been renewed for a second season. Now, I told y'all, see, I told y'all that apartment is so popular. Like, everyone wants to see how that apartment was sold. Ryan Serhant, like, honestly, he's getting his hands into so many real estate deals in New York that it should be on that show. Like, we want to see it. And then also, what I found out I think when Angela Yee did the bag fuel interview, she stated she's an agent on that show. Or not on the show, but she's with that real estate company or whatever. So I thought that was awesome to know. So yeah, like I'm all for Owning Manhattan season 2. Shoot, they might sell some more celebrity houses on there. I don't know. Like Ryan Serhant, he's really gonna be on that ladder. He's gonna be up there with the Oppenheimer and Chriselle Stars and all them on for Netflix. So I'm very glad that that's going on. Where is that on my list? So I could cross it off. All right, here we go. Let's see what else. I want to send my thoughts to Danielle Fishel, Topanga from Boy Meets World. She recently announced that she has breast cancer. Now, you guys know that breast cancer is a sensitive subject to my heart. My mom had it, both my grandmothers had it, and I lost my dad's mother when I was 11. To breast cancer, and I always 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 preach to people that early detection is the best detection. She did state that I think she did early detection as well, so she's going to have the surgery. Listen, them surgeries ain't no joke. Like I remember my mom, she had to get cut open twice because I guess they like missed some parts of it. Oh my god! And then you see like the cuts, and then it kind of it's a serious thing, and I really do hope that she is okay. She's doing well. Everything will be okay for her. And I want to know like is any of these scientists or anything finding like permanent cure for this? Like I don't know because I would always see fundraisers for breast cancer. Like is anybody like doing anything to like put up a seal, like a permanent seal for like the cure just to make it go away forever? Or is it just strictly like chemotherapy and radiation? Because that stuff really does physically affect your body. As we know, chemotherapy, makes the hair fall out and stuff. I don't want to get too deep into it. I just want Miss Fisher to know that I keep her in my thoughts. I hope everything goes well with your healing and your process of getting better and everything. So I don't know. The breast cancer thing, I want to sit down and talk with somebody just to like get some more information because my first experience with breast cancer, losing my grandmother, I was 11. So I was 11. I couldn't, grasp that information at 11 years old. So I hope she is doing well. I hope everything will go okay for her and she'll be back better in no time. So I'm going to cross that out. Speaking of cancer, Ashley Hamilton was arrested, and if you guys don't know who that is, he's an actor. He was the first husband of Shannon Doherty, who may she continue to rest in peace. He said that the reason why he was acting crazy and the reason why he got arrested was because of the cancer pill. And y'all could call me crazy all y'all want to, but I believe him. I do. Hold on. Because when I didn't know this until after my mom's surgery, my aunt and my grandmother warned me. Well, they didn't warn me. They told me because when you have cancer, breast cancer, I don't know about any other cancer, but for sure breast cancer, after you have your surgeries and your radiation and all that stuff, they give you the 5-year pill. And I don't know what the hell is in that pill, but it makes people act unhinged as hell until it's adjusted to a dose where it's okay with the body. I've seen it too many times. And that's why when he said that, I just was like, yeah, it's the pill. Because if he normally did not act like that and then that happened, he's putting that stuff in his body. So, yeah, there's that. Just bringing back some unwanted memories. But it's the pill. It really is. And I never understood what the hell was in there, but it does throw off your hormones. It make you crazy, all that stuff. So, and look, I'm not going back and forth with that. Because I've seen it. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. There was another school shooting in Georgia. I've had this podcast for almost 5 years, and the amounts of school shootings is a number more than I would like to say out loud. The kid was 14 years old. He brought a AR, I think it was an AR-15 in the school. 4 people were killed, 2 teachers, 2 students. I feel like every time I come on here and talk about a school shooting, I feel like I'm repeating myself. I think that when someone on the news talks about a school shooting, they feel like they're repeating themselves. I just don't understand what our laws, our not lawmakers, but our Congress is doing about guns. And I know for a fact that Joe Biden and I think even Kamala Harris is like pushing for some sort of bill. Now, I'm all for having a gun in your home to protect your family, what you worked hard for and everything, but I don't believe in guns going out to be used to kill random people, obviously. And also the thing was the kid was 14 years old, and here's the worst thing I could ever hear anyone tell anybody in the human being population. The gun was a gift from the father to the kid. Now, I will also follow up and say this too. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. The father is currently locked up too. And also looking at 180 years, I heard on the news. I don't understand why people think giving your kids guns at 14 years old is just like the thing. I don't understand that. I believe that guns are used to protect your family, your home, and your belongings. More so your family and your home. Because belongings is replaceable, but family is not replaceable. Homes can be replaceable, but at an expensive point. But to just go out and kill and all that stuff, I just don't understand. And he was 14 years old. What could you possibly be so angry about at 14 years old? You're a freshman in high school. just started at this school probably because I don't think it was a eighth through or a six through 12 school. I think it was just a regular 9 through 12 high school. I just don't understand that. But I don't know. But I was just so sad to hear another school shooting, children dying. I don't like to hear about children dying uh over gun violence, especially. Oh my God, like when Sandy Hook and Parkland happened, I couldn't sleep for days because I just don't like to hear about children just dying. It's sick. And it was in Georgia, it was in the South. So, you know, you guys know how they operate in the South. They're very open about their gun use and all that stuff. So I'm just so sad to hear that. And, with Kamala coming in office, I just really hope, and I know she probably, judicial system, sometimes I hate how it works, but, I just hope our Congress in whole just wakes up and says, I just want to look at aren't you tired of hearing about school shootings? And it seems like it's one every month, if not every year. I'm tired of coming on here talking to y'all. Listen, I am a pop culture podcast. Okay, I talk about music, I talk about celebrity, I try to talk about politics, and I try to talk about some news that I can like understand and relate the message to y'all. I'm tired of talking about school shootings and children dying. I don't like to hear about children dying, okay? Because it's sensitive. It just gives me ugh, it just gives me it scares me and it hurts me to be on here talking about school shootings, and I should not have to do that if our Congress gets it together. And see, I feel like I'm repeating myself from the last school shooting that I had to report. What are we doing? Like, come on. Come on. What are we doing? Um, I want to move on from that too because I get upset. I get really upset when stuff like that happens. Did you guys see the Scott Peterson documentaries that recently came out? I saw both of them. Ooh, I hit my mic. I saw both of them. So there was one on Netflix. I think it was called American Murder or something, American Nightmare. And then there was the one on Peacock where they actually had Scott Peterson on there talking about, I didn't kill my wife. I don't know who killed my wife was killed, blah, blah, blah. Now, listen, I think it was the Netflix documentary I truly paid attention to because I didn't really want to hear nothing Scott Peterson had to say. So Scott Peterson, this is the part that stood out to me the most. All the other parts I've been hearing about, I've been watching Scott and Lacey Peterson documentaries for almost 15 years. They pretty much said a lot of the same things I've been hearing on the other documentaries for 15 years, right? Then they got to Amber Fry. Now, Lacey and this whole Lacey and Scott Peterson thing happened in 2003, I think. 2002, 2003. I was 7 or 8 years old. I remember seeing this stuff on Good Morning America before going to school, right? And I remember when Amber Fry came into the picture, they lit her up. Like, they talked about her so bad. And I'm 8 years old. This is not my focus every day. My focus is going on school, learning times tables and division and all that stuff, whatever. So I'm 29, right? So they bring Amber Fry on this Netflix documentary, what she looks like today in 2024. She had a daughter. She lived in another part of California. I forgot where. And yeah, so Scott, that was her boyfriend or whatever. And basically, when they first met, and I think this was new information to me, or she just dropped this bomb. They said when they first met, he said he didn't have no wife. He said he ain't had no kids. He was something totally different than what he actually does for a living. I think that was him. I heard that. Um, Scott Peterson is not only dead ass wrong, but he dead ass messy. And he needs to be on the list of messy people. Like Carly Red and them. Cause that was so messy. And then he turns around and gets on the phone. Once he's like, I don't know if he wasn't locked up. He gets on the phone with Amber and says, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I am married. My wife went missing. Sir, you are involved in, like, he lied to that lady. And that's what I realize now at my age. Because if I didn't know all of this and I was younger, or if I didn't know all this and I didn't watch those documentaries, I would probably be looking at Amber Free like, you home wrecker. But she wasn't a home wrecker. Dude lied to this woman and was around her and was around her daughter and all that stuff. It was just messy. And then the Peacock documentary, that's when he was on there talking through like a telephone, like Securus or something. And yeah, he was basically lying to us too. And now the freaking LA Innocence Project is trying to help him get out of jail. No. I think the LA Innocence Project is wasting their time because no, he did that shit. Like, it's obviously all in the documentaries. Dude lived in Modesto, and then he drove all the way to some marina 90 miles away from his house on what, Christmas? For what? Who goes fishing on Christmas? Now, California has nice weather, right? And I think they lived in like I think they lived in Southern California, if you consider like Modesto Southern. I don't know. I'm not from California. But he drove 90 miles to the marina. Now, LA in December, I could imagine it's cold, but not like Chicago 0 below cold. But it's cold and nobody wants to go fishing at that time. You know what I mean? A lot of hints were in that documentary, and I just think LA Innocence Project should just back off this whole thing with Scott Peterson. He's never getting out. He did that shit for real. And then also, I was on TikTok per usual, knowing me. Some people pointed out that his sister-in-law like was just a little bit too involved in the whole thing. And I also heard a rumor that he was probably sleeping with her too, but I don't believe that. I don't know. Maybe she's doing it for the brother that she's married to. I don't know, but she was just too involved in it just to be a sister-in-law. Just saying. So I can't believe like all this stuff is invested in Scott Peterson and it should not be. It's very obvious he did that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you being in camera's faces, your wife and your child, especially your child is missing. No. If I had a child that's missing, I would not want to talk to no damn cameras. I appreciate the coverage, but I wouldn't talk to no damn camera. I don't want nobody talking to me if my child was missing or my spouse. So that's just me. Jennifer Lopez, y'all, she finally filed for divorce. So once I heard that happen, all my conspiracy theories went out the window. Well, not conspiracy theories, like all my theories, like, oh, Ben was living in a sober house. I also thought, there's those couples that, sleep in separate bedrooms, but they're so rich. They're so rich, they probably sleep in separate houses. Who knows? But yeah, she filed for divorce. Why? Irreconcilable differences. And in Hollywood, that could mean anything. So I just think, Jennifer, girl, you stay single like Tamar too. Because I'm tired of hearing you get married. Focus on probably getting your music together, because I heard your concerts ain't that good. Probably do another couple more movies. She's a great actress, just not a good singer. But yeah, I think they've always been friends, so I think they would be better off as friends. Because she was always there for his kids, so she might just be a family friend that's around for the kids. And then they said that Ben Affleck was dating Kit Kennedy. Them Kennedys don't want that in their family, trust me. All that drama. No. Let's see. King Harris is expecting his first child, y'all. King Harris, who is T.I. and Tiny's son. I refuse to believe it because King Harris, I know he's like 19, 20 years old, but I could have sworn I remember him being born. I've never seen tiny pregnant pictures of with pregnant with him in pictures, but I remember when they said he was born. And this was like before social media and stuff. I was 8. I didn't have social media, and I don't think it really existed. So I remember like the blogs, some of the blogs I would read, they said that he was born and all that stuff. And then I would watch him as a little boy on the Family Hustle and just all that stuff. And now he's pregnant, or his girlfriend is pregnant with his child. That goes to show me I'm too old. These kids need to stop growing up on me, I swear. Y'all know what else is crazy? I remember when they announced Cayenne Anthony being born on the radio. My mom was getting her hair done somewhere, and I was sitting in the waiting room waiting on her. And this is before smartphones, y'all. I didn't even have a cell phone, or I probably did. I had an MP3 player and not an iPod. I've had iPods as grown up, but no, I used to have MP3 players first. And it had a built-in radio. And I don't know how the hell that thing got Wi-Fi. No, I'm sorry, like a signal for radio. But I live in a metropolitan town, so what I guess. And I was listening to Power 92. I forgot who's the VJs at the time, and they don't host any shows now. But they said, congratulations to Mello and Lala, man. They just had their baby, Cayenne Anthony. And I'm like, what the fuck? And now he's grown up, he's tall, he's looking at colleges. I'm like, where did the years go? And I'm saying it like I know them, but it's like, no, you kind of watch them grow up, you know, which is insane. Let's see, the DNC was held here in Chicago. I kind of forgot it was though. If you go downtown, if there is any major event going on downtown, it will be hell in traffic. I remember the weekend of Lollapalooza, probably a couple months ago. I was downtown going to have dinner with my friends, and traffic was hell. I did go somewhere where I had to drive through the city. It was not that bad though. So I guess they did a good job with like keeping traffic to a low, but then again, it's like presidential stuff, so um it had to like be a minimum. And I didn't see the thing on TV, but I watched clips of it. It just looked like one big fun party. The Democratic National Convention, that is. Republic National Convention, I'm gonna get to you in a minute. It looked like a big party. They played a lot of hip hop. They had a lot of celebrities representing their home states or the states they live in. And Lil Jon was there turning up. And then Kerry Washington was there. They were playing Petey Pablo, the All Rise remix. Because you have to play the All Rise remix. Because I'm sorry. I think it's called All Cities remix. Where you have to play all the cities. He said North Carolina, South Carolina, Houston, Chicago. Well, Chicago and Houston are cities. But that's what he said in the song. I'm not wrong. I know the song. Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, they were there throwing shade. It was awesome from what I seen. Then the Republic National Convention, it looked like a bunch of sermons. And I don't mean in a church way, but like it just looked like y'all are here and you gonna watch me talk. There was no dancing. There was none of that. There was Savannah Chrisley trying to like, pander to get her parents out of jail. I don't think she really needed to do all that, to be honest, because she's doing a great job using her platform and lawyers and all that stuff. She didn't have to go on that Republican National Convention. But it just looked like, cricket. If you look out in the audience, it's crickets. But the Democratic National Convention looked lit as hell. And it made me want to be there, but I'm not really deep into politics like that. It was the next thing to see, and then Kamala Harris made an appearance. So I'm happy that Kamala, she's where she needs to be, and she's commenting on things that are important. Whereas like when Donald Trump was president, it was like it took a while for him to comment on things, and then when he did comment on things, It was like not a big fucking deal. To be honest, it was like a brush off the shoulder. It was no big deal. Oh, this is not real. This will blow over. No, she has, you know, when she makes a statement, it's a real, like, down to business. We need to do better statement. Whereas like with Donald Trump, it's like, whatever, bro. It happened. You know what I'm saying? So I was very happy about that for the DNC. Let's see. Nelly and Ashanti had their baby, and I'm sure the baby is so cute. They had a boy. I wanted them to have a girl, but they had a boy, and I love the little boy's name. It's Kareem Kincaid. I am just very glad that this child does not have a weird celebrity name. A normal name, Kareem. Love it. It's very black. So, yeah, congratulations, Nelly and Ashanti. I think that baby gonna be raised in St. Louis too. So it's gonna be a Midwestern. I'm so happy about that. It's gonna have that thick St. Louis accent too. So shout out to St. Louis. I got family down there. Richard Simmons, his death was ruled an accident because he had a fall in his home. And Craig Mack, they say that Craig Mack died of AIDS. I don't want to get into that. I just want to tell y'all that because, yeah, it's pretty sad. Rest in peace, Craig Mack. Judge Mathis's wife files for divorce, which was shocking. But then again, I was in the car with my mom, and I think it was Crazy Howard McGee. He was talking about it. And I was telling my mother, like, these people are famous. We just don't know them. We don't know what really happened. And I was giving my mom an example. Tiger Woods, like, when Tiger Woods was on top of the world, he was on top of the world, okay? And then he cheated on his wife, and then it came out he was backing out the driveway. His wife beat the hell out of his Escalade, blah, blah, blah. That came out, and it was just like, damn, we didn't know that about Tiger Woods as he was winning them titles and swinging that golf course and all that stuff when he was swinging something else behind his wife's back. So, people say that, oh, 39 years, you get fed up, or, sometimes now it's people are actually leaving when they're not happy because, back in the day, when someone is not happy, they just stayed and not be happy. You know what I mean? So, but then I don't know what's going on because Judge Mathis was on TMZ and he looked somber. He was like, I'm going to fight for my wife. I'm going to fight for my wife. Okay. If you're going to fight, better fight for her because she filed and it's 39 years and all that stuff. So we'll see what happened about that. I don't know because like I told my mama, we don't know these people. We don't know what really happened. I just report the news. Just saying. Back to politics, y'all. RFK Jr., he dropped out of the race. And y'all know who he endorsed? Freaking Trump. And when I heard that news, I was pissed. Now, if y'all know me, y'all know that I am a modern history buff. And what I mean by that is, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do two things at once here. I love anything history from 1950 to like now, 2024. I took that class when my final semester of getting my 2 year, and I learned so much about how the economy boomed after like World War II and all that stuff, the Kennedys and um Reaganomics, just all that stuff. I studied all that in that class. And I graduated from college, right? And then it carried on to me in my everyday life post college, where they told me this lie when I was in high school that, oh, you're gonna be writing a lot of papers when you go to college and blah, blah, blah. I go to college for 3 years. I know I said my 2 year, but it took me 3 years to get it. Don't judge me. I could count on my hand how many papers I wrote, but how many documentaries I watched. I watched way more documentaries than papers. Well, watched way more documentaries than I wrote papers. And that habit, it came with me post college. And I would spend time, like on my free time, I would spend lots of time, and that's my elbow rubbing against the table. I didn't fart. Ha. Anyway, I would spend time watching like Kennedy documentaries. There's like a lot of them on HBO Max, and there's some on YouTube or whatever. And I would watch how the Kennedys, like John F. K. and RFK Sr., his father, JFK Jr.'s, really campaigned and was really for the people. Now, I saw footage of this on YouTube, and I think it was YouTube, that RFK, when he announced that he was getting ready to go run for president, he went to go campaign in Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana is one of the poorest cities in the Northwest Indiana area, and it's predominantly black too. So for him, someone who comes from a wealthy family, because the Kennedys are wealthy, not were, are, because the generations after them, they doing their thing. It goes to show how for the people that his family was. You know what I mean? So when I heard that RFK Jr. was endorsing Trump, I said, I know his father, his uncles, because y'all got to remember his uncle is Ted Kennedy. Now, Ted Kennedy died in 2009, like a little bit after Michael Jackson did. So he was a senator, I think. Yeah, he was a senator. I think he was for the people too, but he was just kept getting in scandal and stuff. So I said I know they're all his uncles, and his father is just turning his grave because Trump is not for the people. Trump is not for the people. I don't care. Oh, Trump had this, blah, blah, blah. No, he was not for the people, because guess what? From his presidency, yeah, it might have seemed like everything was sweet and cheap and cool, and we had a good old time. But guess what? That pandemic hit, and people died left and right, and now we living in a recession practically. He's not for the people. He made selfish decisions, all that stuff. So RFK wanting endorsing Trump is a selfish decision too, and it's like it backfired because people are mad at him and even his own family. I would be mad too, because what the fuck? You watch our our well, he has like maybe 10 brothers and sisters from his father, but he has like hella cousins because the Kennedys was a big family. You watch our uncles and our dad and stuff just be for the people, and you're rooting for someone that's not for the people because he called the DNC a show. No, if anything, and this is my opinion, if anything, I think the DNC was just making it relatable and comfortable for the young voters, if you will. You know what I mean? I watched the RNC. That shit looks stiff, and it's for somebody's 80-year-old grandmother who lives in a country club somewhere in Whitesville, West Virginia or something. That's for them. You know what I mean? The DNC is for the young people to understand that this is important, and hey, we can relate and all that stuff. Just saying. But RFK, like, his family don't talk to him, his siblings ain't talking to him. It's like it's consequences to your actions. And I know your daddy and your uncles are in their graves rolling. Like, they didn't fight and they didn't make history for you to do something like this, in my opinion. But moving on from that, I think I'm done talking about politics because it's always some shit going on. Justin Bieber has his baby and gave that baby a normal name. I think we are leaving the trend of abnormal celebrity kids' names. Some of them are creative and some of them are like, what the hell, why? But Jack Blues Bieber, cute name, named him after music, blues, obviously, and Jack, cute name, Jack Jack. I always think of Jack Jack from the Incredibles. I love the Incredibles too. I love Disney movies. Pixar and what's the other one? Pixar. It's Pixar, and then it's another one. I forgot, and I like them too. Those animated movies, they're just so cute. Um, Mariah Carey. I want to send a big hug to Mariah Carey. Her mother and her sister passed away. Not it was never explained what they died of. I know Mariah, she hasn't really talked to her sister in years because if you read her book, her sister put her through a lot, and obviously I would understand if I had a sister that did that to me, I would just be like, "You're out of my life." But I think I heard somewhere she had HIV. I'm not 1,000% sure. Don't quote me on it. And Mariah's mother, I think she was kind of up there in age. And if you guys remember, about a couple months ago, Mariah had a show and she started crying, and people were like, "Oh my God, it's bizarre. She's crying on stage. Why is she crying on stage?" I think her mom being sick, that could have been what was going on. Um, if you have a sick relative in the hospital, dying on their deathbed, getting ready to go, that stuff is on your heart hard. You know what I mean? And I think that's why she was crying. At first, I thought it was because of, her and Brian Tanaka breaking up, but I think that was so long ago. I'm sure she would have been over it by now. But now that I look at that, that could have been the reason. So, yeah. I got two more stories. Well, I'll start with that here. I want to say rest in peace to Phil Donahue. He was like a talk show host. He was like in the talk show wars, if you will. Um, I never got a chance to really watch Phil Donahue because it was before my time. I think his show went off in '96, so I was one. I had no like what's the attention span for TV at 1 years old, so I never saw Donahue. But my favorite clip is when they had Two Live Crew on there, and it's on Twitter. Like I see it all the time because I always quote it when Uncle Luke be saying, "See y'all lying again. How many of y'all lying again?" Like that clip makes me laugh all the time. But I didn't know that was Phil Donahue either because that was before my time. So rest in peace. Another rest in peace to Fat Man Scoop, which made me so sad because listen, I partied in LA, I partied in Atlanta, I partied in Cabo. And the DJ is this one person, but they'll play Fat Man Scoop. You know, I love Fat Man Scoop. Fat Man Scoop's been around my whole life. I never grew up in New York, but I could imagine a lot of the club anthems had Fat Man Scoop in them. Played in New York. So he was very, very, very a part of hip hop. He was so young. He was on stage performing, and he got behind the DJ booth. It was like, "Put your hands up," and then he collapsed. So it's probably a heart attack, and yeah, he went to the hospital and passed away, and he was so young. He was like probably like 52, 54 in that age range. So may he rest in peace. I might be a little lengthy on this one, but a couple days ago, one of my favorite rappers, Rich Homie Quan, he passed away in his home in Atlanta. um I was introduced to Quan when I was 18 years old. Some Type of Way came out, I think, in July. I had just graduated from high school, and it was this song by this guy, and I'm watching the video. Why the hell is he dancing in front of these abandoned projects? I don't know, but he's kind of cute though. And I remember just following him on Instagram, following his career. One thing I like to do on Sundays when Rich Homie Quan would go live is I would love to watch his live just to see what he was doing. Like, and I don't know, like stalker stuff because he was just like me watching those lives. He would get in his car, clean his house, be around the house, go to the mall. Like, it was just so cool to see. And like that was like my celebrity crush now is DJ Quick now. But when I was like younger, that top spot was Rich Homie Quan. Like I love me some Rich Homie Quan. And I always did. I always did. I was a huge fan. I loved his album Riches in Spirit when it came out. I'll never stop going in. Listen, I didn't have Apple Music at that time. I didn't even have an iPhone. And I downloaded it off DatPiff. If you guys remember DatPiff. I was always a huge Rich Homie Quan fan. And I always kept up with him too through social media. I was working. I think this was Thursday. As you guys, I've said this plenty of times, publicly, that when it comes to like uh, those news notifications, I took those off after Takeoff passed away because I don't want to be waking up and that's the first thing I see is bad news on my phone. So that's why I didn't really know right away. I knew in the beginning stages of when it was spreading, but not like as soon as I was working and I get a notification. It was from my best friend. She sent me something on Twitter, X, whatever it's called. And it said, Rich Homie passed away, reporting of OD, blah, blah, blah. So I'm looking at this and first thought was, this was an internet hoax. I don't believe this because the internet's always killing people. Like they always tried to kill off Sinbad for some reason. I don't believe this. But then again, I'm a podcaster. I share news. I have to go do my research. So I stopped what I was doing. I'm trying to do my research. I'm checking Twitter. I'm checking and so's page. Just doing all this stuff as best as I can. And then once I saw confirmed the Fulton County morgue, I stopped everything. And I just sat in disbelief. TMZ, I'm starting to feel more ashamed of you every time a situation like this happens. I don't understand why you had to go and upload the 911 call. I was sick to my stomach when I heard Rella, they call her Rella. I think her real name's Amber. She was screaming, there's no heartbeat and he's not breathing. She was scared. And then also I want to add this too. All you overthinkers and all that stuff saying, oh, she was too calm on the phone and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell y'all something. I have severe anxiety and I am the type of person to be scared and scream and all that stuff. But when you're in a situation and you're talking to a 911 dispatcher, you have to be calm because you don't want to overwhelm yourself more and you don't want to like overwhelm the dispatcher when they're trying to do their job. Being a 911 dispatcher to me is a tedious as hell job. Like, so they have to be like present to do their job. So she was as calm as she could. Now, I don't know if it was protocol that they asked if there's a defibrillator. It might be their protocol. I understand you're like, what, why would she? Might be protocol. She's just doing her job. So they take him to the hospital. He's pronounced dead. More confirms that everything. I wrote this all down because I want to say everything I want to say. I read somewhere that he was on the couch, sleeping, and she put a blanket on him. It's starting to be fall, especially in Atlanta. It does get cold at night. So she put a blanket on him and she went to go take their babies to school and then she came back. He wasn't breathing. She turned him over. He was foaming at the mouth. I think we all know what that means. So that happened in the 911 call. So we all start posting our tributes and stuff, and then it comes out Erica Banks. And I know there was other women too, but Erica Banks really stood out to me the most in that bunch. Erica Banks posted about her time, and I'm gonna call it her time with Rich Homie Quan. I too think that it was very inappropriate. You should not have exposed your situation with him in that moment. You could have just posted a picture and said rest in peace, Quan. That's it. But no, you had to take it 25,000 steps further and just put it all out there, and it kind of opened a floodgates for other women. And it overall, it's just not appropriate. Not only that, but social media is kind of permanent. And then Erica deleted everything. I want to add that on. To say this, I want to say this. Ah, I keep hitting my mic. Social media is kind of permanent. It does not matter if you delete it. Somebody probably screenshotted it and it is on its way to Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk, uh I don't know, Michelle Atalian, that lady. I don't know. But yeah, it's permanent. And then the kids are going to grow up and they're going to see that. And they're going to probably put two and two together and say, oh my God, my dad cheated on my mom. And just all that. It just opens up floodgates of unwanted energy, unwanted conversations, and just awkwardness in the family. Just saying. So it was just inappropriate to me. I'm sorry. I know who Erica Banks is. I watch Love and Hip Hop, but I just look at her different now, after all this has happened. I heard that there was going to be an autopsy done. I don't know when. Um, they were planning a funeral. I don't know when that's going to happen. Um, I don't. I have never met a lot of celebrities, but Rich Homie Quan. I was getting my 2 year degree. And his music, I'm walking to my classes listening to his music. I remember watching him and Young Thug on TV. I'm so sad about it. Like I thought I was devastated when Michael Jackson passed away. I was devastated when Whitney Houston passed away. Rich Homie Quan is closer in age to me. He's probably like 6 years older than me. Um, when I like he was my whole college years. I don't remember my college years much because I was doing things that kind of mess up my memory, and I'm gonna keep it at that. But Rich Homie Quan was a part of my life, like those other artists were, and it's a shock. You know what I mean? I didn't wake up that day to expect to see that bad news and be one of the millions of fans just affected by it. You know what I mean? I hope Rich Homie Quan rests in peace. I hope he has peace with the Lord in heaven. My thoughts are with his family, his friends, his fans, and God bless him, God keep him. And I want to talk about something else because I get sad again. I was at the gas station after I found out I'm on pump two crying because I loved Rich Homie Quan so much. I loved him so much. Um, I want to wrap up with Tyrese being on the Breakfast Club. Tyrese made me cry too, though. I ain't gonna lie. Tyrese made me cry because when Charlamagne the guy asked him about pain, and he went down the list of people like Tyrese lost, like his mom, his sisters, and all that stuff. And then Tyrese started crying. I started crying because I could relate. Like I think Tyrese's list was longer though. He lost his mom, his sisters. I think his brothers are gone. He had a divorce. Then he lost like some of his peers, Paul Walker, and all that stuff. And then that made me think about my list of people I lost. Like past 10 years, I lost my grandfathers. Both my grandfathers are gone. My auntie. I lost some friends. Um, not to death. I lost one to death, but others just to growing up and stuff, and moving through life. It just made me cry. So I'm proud of Tyrese. Like he's not as annoying as I thought he would be, and he's very funny. I just figured that out. But yeah, I felt for him when he was on the Breakfast Club, so I did enjoy that. Um, I really want to see that 1992 movie. I hope it's in theaters like next weekend, and I could probably go see it. But yeah, I just want to end with that. Um, Rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan. I just can't believe it, man. I really can't believe it. And you know what? I hope that Fulton County does some sort of investigation like they did with Michael K. Williams and Mac Miller, how they had to go and find out where he got the drugs from and stuff, and they prosecuted the people who gave it. I hope that they do that same investigation because that just does not sit right with me, and it might not sit right with anybody else out there who is a fan. You know what I mean? So, rest in peace, Quan. thank y'all for listening. I don't know. I feel like I keep forgetting to thank everybody, but thank you for listening. Um, I gotta go do laundry. It's probably get my mind off stuff, but thank y'all for listening. Just keep on the lookout for stuff. I might record another video sometime this week. I did watch the Gary Coleman documentary, so I might do a video on that. But yeah, thank y'all for your support, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.